join, and separate angles. Today we're going to have some fun playing with angles. A lot of this will require use of protractors, but a lot of it will also deal with just logical reasoning. Let's have a look. Let's take a look at our first drawing up here. We have an angle PQT. And if we want to know the measurement of angle PQT, we could easily pull out our protractor, and we'll be using a protractor today. But we don't need a protractor for this one. You'll notice that this angle has been divided into two smaller pieces. We have this angle, which measures 40 degrees, and this angle, which measures 25 degrees. And notice that is all that angle PQT has. So if we want to know the measurement of angle PQT, all we have to do is add these two measurements together, and that will tell us what the whole thing is. So that would be 25 degrees plus 40 degrees. And of course, that would be 65 degrees. So the angle PQT measures 65 degrees. Likewise, with this picture, we have three different angles. We have this one here on the left, we have this one in the middle, and this one on the right. We know the measurement of the left angle is 50 degrees. We know the measurement of the right angle is 70 degrees. What we don't know is this middle angle. Again, we can pull out Mr. Protractor and measure it, but there's another way of coming about this answer. This whole angle forms a straight angle. And we've learned previously that straight angles measure 180 degrees. So if we were to add the 50 and the 70, that would give us something. And then we could subtract that from 180 degrees, and whatever's missing is the measurement of this angle. Now, feel free to turn a page or turn the paper. Notice this angle is what kind of an angle? It's an acute angle. So we want to make sure that the number that we end up with is a number less than 90. So what is 50 plus 70? We can do the work right over to the side. That'll be 120. So if we took this angle and we added it to that angle, we would get 120 degrees. But we know with the addition of this angle, the whole thing will be 180. So we'll subtract 180 minus what we already know, which is 120, and that will leave us with 60 degrees. 60 degrees would indicate an acute angle. We said this should be an acute angle. So there we have it, 60 degrees. Pretty easy. Now comes the last one, which requires us to use our protractor. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. We have a circle, and if we remember, circles have 360 degrees on them. Remember, a skateboard that goes once around is called a 360. So once around a circle is 360 degrees. Now, we don't have any measurements here, so we're going to need to use our protractor. So let's do that. Just with the other, like with the other problem, feel free to turn the paper so things are easy for you. I like it when I have one of my rays or line segments in this case that's kind of parallel to the table so I can measure. So I'm going to put my protractor, hole on the vertex here, point A. I'm going to rotate it. So point B is on the 0. 0 is on the inside line. I notice that this is a acute angle. Line up here, and that would appear to be about 87 Yeah, about 87 degrees there. So we'll just write that in. 87 degrees. And then I'm going to keep rotating. We'll now do angle. Did I do that right? EAB, right? Yeah, and angle BAC now. We'll do this one. Put the hole on there, rotate it. So my bar is on the 0. I'm going to rotate it up. So this ray is lined up. And that looks to be about 78 degrees. I'll just write that in there. Again, move my paper so I'm always measuring the same kind of thing. Again, I'm going to have an acute angle. The hole goes on the point A. I'm going to rotate this so the 0 is there. We're now measuring what? CAD. And I rotate this up. And I think I have this quite right. There we go. Very easy to be off a degree or two. And that measures 70 degrees. And you will get an allowance for that. You'll probably see that here with this as well. And we have one last angle. Notice this one is an obtuse angle, so I'm expecting an answer greater than 90. Put my hole there. I'm going to rotate this. Come over here. And just right past that halfway point. Halfway between 120 and 130 is 125. And I seem to be about 1 degree past that. That would be 126. So the way we determine if this makes sense is let's add up our 4 angles. So over here we have 87, we have 78, we have 70, and 126. So this just becomes a column addition problem. 7 plus 8 is 15, plus 6 more would be 21. Put the 1 down, carry the 2 and circle it. 2 and 8 make our 10. 7 and 7 are 14. 14 and 10 would be 24, plus 2 more is 26. Put the 6 down, carry the 2 and circle it. 2 plus 1 is 3. So we have 361 degrees. The circle has 360. We're off by 1 degree. I'm okay with that. You get a little leeway when we measure angles, particularly here in the beginning, usually 1 or 2 degrees per angle, because it can be very hard to get things lined up. If it moves ever so slightly, that'll be a degree or 2. So we did a pretty good job with that. This is how we join and separate angles.